Hello and welcome everyone to the Tower Project. Today in our opening video we are going to attempt to do the impossible. We are going to attempt to save the city of Jerusalem from a massive Mongol invasion. Now this battle was taken from Legend of Total War's Egypt's Last Stand video. Be sure to check it out and his channel. Now he himself tried this battle and he said it was impossible. But here at the Tower Project we are going to attempt to make impossibilities realities. And so you can see here we are in the exact same save file, and we are playing as Egypt in good old vanilla Medieval 2 Total War. So, situation is thus. Jerusalem, our last city, is under siege by two massive Mongol armies. The first highly experienced, with artillery, foot archers, and of course the Mongol horsemen. And the second army is even larger. Now in total, the enemy number about 2,300 men, while we ourselves number only 262. And so we are outnumbered nearly 10 to 1 in this climactic and titanic battle that we are about to engage in. So without further ado, let's dive into the battle and see who will come out victorious.
Legend of Total War here, and today we're making a last stand as Egypt up against the Mongols. Now, I believe that this battle is not possible, not without making modifications to the actual game. So the situation is that we've got some generals' bodyguards, which is good in normal circumstance, but up against the Mongols, which have loads of really high quality cavalry, it really doesn't count for much. In fact, in this battle here, I would trade off General's bodyguards for Saracen militia. They would be way more useful in this situation. Well, he should be able to run them, so we'll catch them when. Even this army, just that one there by itself, I just can't beat. Even the breaking the enemy generals is not enough.
Half our force remains.
First army hasn't come yet. So we've already lost one general.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Now, if some miracle happened and we managed to just rout these guys here, we still have about half an hour till the battle ends. There is no hope in hell of beating this other force. The other force that's reinforcing. Couldn't even defeat this one. That's why I thought this battle's impossible. They're too strong. Well, I feel like I could keep trying this battle over and over and over again and maybe get better results, but I think that at the end of the day, this battle can't be won. And this guy here's still alive. Even if we won here, it's still game over because all the generals are dead. So, I mean, we took a lot of them down, but at the end of the day, we were just so badly outpowered by units that we had no tactical edge on, and there's just not much you can do about that. And I don't get this screen very often on Medieval 2, but that is a defeat. I can't win this battle. I couldn't win that battle if my life depended on it. I couldn't win that battle if my life depended on it.
Alright, well after that amazing intro, let me welcome you again one more time to the Tower Project. So today we're going to be taking on Legend of Total War's Impossible Battle from his Egypt's Last Stand Against the Mongols campaign. So here I'm just showing you that this is the exact same save file. No modifications, no stat changes. It's plain vanilla Medieval 2 Total War. So what we're going to go ahead today and do at the Tower Project is try to do what was impossible for others, and we're going to try to turn a win out of this battle. So, as the game loads up here, we're going to get into the deployment, and I will see you guys once the battle begins. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of the scenario, as I begin frantically running my troops around the castle, since there was no deployment phase, since the spies opened the gates, you don't get to actually deploy your men, so I begin frantically running my men to their assigned positions here within the city. So, what is going on here? Well, we're in the city of Jerusalem, and there are two Mongol armies surrounding our city. The one to the north of the mini-map that you can see in your bottom left-hand screen is a smaller army, but much more experienced. It also has quite a bit of artillery. The one at the south end of the mini-map is much larger, but not as experienced and much less artillery. So what happened with Legend of Total War's video is he let the second army come into his castle, got surrounded in the square, and got killed before the army to the north here at the mini-map even got in. So essentially what my strategy is going to be as I attempt to win this is I'm going to try to funnel that big second army through that main southern gate. You can see my general's bodyguard were just getting posted up there a moment ago. The way I'm able to do this is that southern army only has one catapult. That's all the artillery they have. And they don't have any siege equipment, so there's no way for them to take the walls other than just rushing through the gates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow the timer to run down a little bit, let the other army use up quite a bit of its artillery, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to snipe their catapult before they can bring down any of the walls. What that's going to do is it's going to trigger the AI to just run all of its horsemen through that main gate. Now, I kind of have to corral the army to get the majority of the horses to go through that gate, otherwise they would also attack the east and western gates, which, as you see, I have a general's unit at each of those gates, but I have my largest two general's units at the southern gate. You'll also see that I had my Nafutans there on the main southern gate, ready to drop their fiery pots of justice on top of all of the Mongols as they swarm and are cut down in droves at the southern gate. The rest of my army, the desert cavalry, are basically there to go and kill the catapult. There's no way for them to get back in the gate, so they're essentially the suicide squad here. The Saracen militia I'm going to put over at the western gate, and they're just going to help hold because you will see about 4 units attempt to go through that western gate. Again, the Nafutans are on the main southern gate. The Desert Archers are going to be moving up to the wall to support at the southern gate and just to flame the big blob of Mongols as they come through. These Peasant Archers are up here just to garrison the towers. And then again, the 2 large groups of General's Bodyguard, the Faction Leader and the Faction Heir, are at the southern gate, and then one of the smaller generals each are at the east and west gates appropriately. So here you can see I'm just beginning to move my desert cavalry outside of the walls there. I'm not going to go after the catapult until they actually start taking the walls down because I want to let the timer run a little bit just in case things go south. Now, the Northern Army, the nice thing about them is they have all this artillery, and for whatever reason, and Legend of Total War talked about this in his battle, for whatever reason, these artillery just really want to get into the city, move all the way around, and try to smash down that gate. So, I got no problem letting them do that. Now, I have those Peasant Archers over there to garrison the towers just to try to shoot a couple of them, but I have no problem for them to walk around through the city, take their sweet time, while I'm at the other end of the city butchering their allies. And that's exactly what I want them to do. Here you can see the catapults are starting to make some headway on that wall. I want to make sure I kill them before that wall actually comes down. Otherwise, I'm going to have another gap for that second army to run through. Again, the main strategy is to try to funnel as much of that second army as possible into that main southern gate, where essentially their numbers can mean as little as possible. Now, I'm bringing that third general over to the gate here because when I sent my desert cavalry out, as you'll see, a lot of the second army is starting to walk over towards the center. You can see it here. So, because I did it this way, none of the second army is going to attack the eastern gate. So I'm bringing that third general units over to have mass. To have as much mass as possible, because mass is going to be what's important here. If they start pushing me back and pushing me out, then they're just going to slaughter my units, and this is going to turn out no different than the way Legend did it. So here it comes. Here comes the big attack. Desert Cavalry are trying to run in through the southern gate there, but like I said, there's no chance for them to make it back. So, but what's nice is as they're dying there, they're actually going to kind of bog up the Mongols, as you can see. And Nafutans are going to begin throwing. You can see some explosions happening. And I'm pouring all 3 of my generals right in there. I want to keep them bugged in that gate there. As you can see, another glitch I've kind of exploited here, having the Nafutons on the top of that gate is allowing them to just throw their Nafutons straight down through the wall, almost like it doesn't exist. The other nice thing is by positioning them there, you'll notice all of their arrows are going up and shooting that wall and doing nothing. Whereas with Legend of Total War's video, all of those archers were constantly shooting his general's bodyguard. So I gave them a target to shoot at, and one they couldn't possibly do any damage to. There you can see my Nafutons just butchering them, destroying the morale. And my general's bodyguard are holding strong. I got fire arrows raining overhead. I got the towers shooting down at him. I got the Nafutons. I got my general there. And now the Mongols are starting to break. I pause it there. I'm going to rally the troops. Running over the Saracen militia. We got troops coming in on the western gate. You'll see they're sending 3 units. Actually, that's just 2 units. 2 units of the Mongol light archers. And you can just start to see those Mongol flags breaking. What a pretty sight to see. I haven't even killed the general yet. That's the power of the Nafutons. There you go. 2 flags. 2 units routing. And I'm just continuing to surround and pound that big blob there. Those horse archers are going to die in droves to my general's bodyguard. No threat there. There we go. Mongol general has fallen. And that is going to pretty much seal the deal there. You can see mass rout ensuing on that second Mongol army. And you can just see the piles of dead bodies outside of the gate. And we are just going to take it to them and rout them as quickly as possible. You can see I continue to click through. The reason I'm doing that is to capture all the troops before they run away. Because what I don't want to have happen, I don't want them to rout, come back, and recharge that second gate. I have to kill the second army here. You can see balance of power still horrendously against me, even after slaughtering hundreds of Mongols. And at this point, I'm noticing my Nafutons are getting really low on ammo. I'm going to run them back to the northern gate because I still need some of their ammo to kill that northern army. Remember, this isn't the only army I have to fight. There's a whole nother, far more experienced army at the other side of my castle. And that's the main reason why I think Legend of Total War was saying this battle is impossible. Because it really almost is unless you do it just right. And we're going to see if I can pull that off by the end of this battle. You can see the Mongols forming the shooting circle, the Cantabarian circle outside, and they're just kind of shooting their own men, which is great for me. And I keep trying to break these units. Those heavy archers are kind of hanging around a little bit longer. But they'll break eventually. General's dead. They're outmatched by my bodyguard. They'll break eventually. And I'm trying to rush through to grab that shooting circle. Because when cavalry are in that circle, it's almost impossible for them to run away because the AI just doesn't path well with it. And so they kind of try to run in a circle. And it's just almost impossible for them to get away. And I don't want them to get away. I want to kill them all. Made a little mistake there. My Saracen militia were outside of the gate and just kind of getting shot at. So brought them back inside, charging after the horse archers that return. Gotta kill all these units. I can't leave any enemies behind me when I go to fight that northern wall. Because that battle, even though I've lost almost nothing killing that army, it is, look at all those troops out there that are still there for me to have to kill. Every man counts in this battle. And it is going to require every advantage I can possibly get to even give myself a chance. There we go, 2 units routing. 1 unit left over there, going to go take it out. I'm going to leave the catapult at this point just because I want to get my men back over to the other side. You can see there the just massive pile of dead bodies at the gate. And it's crazy, even with all those Mongols dead, look at the balance of power. It's barely moved. And you can see all the dead Mongols outside of the gate that got shot by the towers. We are just absolutely massacring them. And there's still just so many more to go. I can certainly see why this battle was called impossible. So now I've cleaned up that army except for the catapult, but the catapult's not going to do anything. It's just going to use the rest of its ammo to keep shooting the wall, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. But what I need to do is I need to get my men back over to the other side of the castle. So I'm going to send my general's bodyguard over out there just to clean up the last horse archer unit. And as you can see a little bit ago, I was moving all my men up to that northern wall. If Finally getting them into melee. I believe that's the last horse archer unit there. And they're going to try to rush through, which is great for me, because when they do that, I don't know that it's called a bug, but some form of an exploit. When they rush through like that, they can't attack. So if I sit there and click attack, then it just murderizes all of them. So that was a really nice help for me to get that unit. And there you can see they broke. And that unit I'm going to begin sending around to get the catapult. But then I'm going to realize I don't need him to kill the catapult. I'm going to bring him back to the northern wall. The northern army here beginning to move. And I'm starting to get my bodyguards into their actual positions along the wall. I did practice this a couple of times just to get all the positions right. So I know exactly where I need each cavalry unit to get to destroy this Mongol army. Now, I know right where their general is. He's in the second to the last unit from the right there on your screen in that Mongol light horse archer unit. So I'm going to deploy my healthiest general's bodyguard over there just so I can make sure that I kill him. Because with the amount of experience this army has, if I don't kill the general, they will fight to the death. And if they do that, there's just no way for me to win. The other thing about this army is that they have a significant amount of infantry here. There's 2 units of Mongol foot archers, and there's a couple units of the Mongol infantry there, and that's going to be pretty tough for me to kill. Because I basically have no infantry. I have cavalry, but once it gets into the city streets, those archers are going to start doing some numbers on my cavalry. You can see there the trebuchets that they ran around the entire city, now coming back. And I'm thinking, oh, crud, I'm going to have to kill these right now. Because the moment that I kill those trebuchets, that whole northern army you're going to see is just going to come flying into my walls. And right now I paused the battle because my heart is racing, and I'm taking a little breather trying to get myself back together. Because I know that this is the critical part of the battle. I know I'm going to have to hit those trebuchets, and that northern army is going to come right into me. So I've got to get my A game on. This is for all the marbles. This is where it counts. I got my Naphtons in position to throw down as the troops come through the breach. I got archers on the wall ready to flame them. I'm as ready as I can be. And I probably also went to the bathroom at this point as well. There we go. And I'm double checking everything again. This is the key part of the battle. I want to make sure that this is done right. Because one mistake here will cost me this entire battle. So I've got my general's bodyguard hitting the first trebuchet there. I still have a little bit of time until that second trebuchet comes. And once that second trebuchet is compromised, then that northern army is going to charge right through. And you'll just see the AI just unclicks everything from its siege equipment, and they just bull rush in. And one thing that I'm also doing here is I'm killing the trebuchets at an opportune point. As you can see, I'm killing them as they start to go through that gap in the wall. What that's going to do is as those trebuchets die, you'll see here in a little bit, they're actually going to create a shield for me. Because you got to remember there's all these horse archers in this Mongol army. Even if I'm sitting there fighting them in melee, the computer is going to have them on fire at will. So when my general's bodyguard are fighting the first rank of their army, the second, third, fourth, fifth, and all the other ranks are going to be shooting arrows at my face. I can't afford to take arrow casualties. So I'm killing those trebuchets right at the gap in the wall there, as you can see. So that way when that northern army charges through, I'm going to have a big wooden shield taking up all their arrows. It's also going to bug their general out on them, which is going to make him easy to kill. So there is strategy behind everything that's happening here. As you can see, there's another trebuchet unit that did get out, and that is going to be killed here fairly shortly. I'm going to run a Saracen militia over to that gate just to garrison, in case any units were to try to run through that side gate there. Rally the troops, make sure everybody's as healthy as they can be. And Northern Army moving up a little bit. They know it's about to happen. I know it's about to happen. And the fate of the city of Jerusalem is going to be decided very shortly. So there's that catapult that I left alive. I told you it's just going to destroy more of the walls. I could have taken it out, but I really didn't want to tire my generals out anymore. I needed all the stamina I could get. I needed every help I could get to take this northern army out. Oh, there you can see everybody just got into combat, and the Mongols snuck attack me. They did catch me off guard there, a little bit, but my units were pretty well in place. So we're going to see if I can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. So those cavalry are trying to bug through. We're going to cut them down. I got my 2 generals' bodyguards hitting that unit there in the hole. You can see the trebuchets providing that archer fire for me. Naviton's raining down, and enemy general killed almost immediately. That was a godsend, and exactly what I wanted to happen with the trebuchets. But you can see they are starting to cut down one of my general's bodyguards unit, getting them both to attack into there. 3rd general's bodyguard clearing out his entryway, and I got my main general holding the gate there. And it is on right now. This is for all the marbles right here. That one unit that pulled through, they're shaking. They're going to come back. I'm going to take that 2nd unit, run him over, and engage the archers there once I can. So that way my other general can go back and hit those Mongol cavalry that are behind him. Here we are just holding that gap strong. And man, is it looking really grim at this point. They just have so many men, and I have so few. Nafutons just aren't firing the way I want them to. Desert Cavalry just not routing them. And you can see, even with the general dead, those Mongol horse archers are still standing and fighting. Going to try to get my Nafutons over there to help clear out that gap. The foot archers are pretty pitiful in melee, so might have a chance there, but I'm also flanked. I got a unit attacking me in the back. And we're going to pause the battle again just to check on everybody. Again, you can imagine the nerves at this point in the battle. And we're going to try to get the Nafuton throwing. You can see the Mongol infantry putting ladders up there onto the walls. They're going to start to climb up there. Starting to waver those the Mongol foot archers. If we can break them. Oh, we broke the Mongol horse archers behind us, but we got Mongol infantry coming in, and they are going to shoot the crud out of us there. Starting to lose the breach on the far right side. We're going to get into melee with the Mongol foot archers so they can't keep shooting. With the Mongol infantry, excuse me. And we're going to keep fighting around those trebuchets. The other thing the trebuchets do is they help to minimize the numbers advantage as well, because if a unit is having to path around a trebuchet, it can't be swinging at me. So the trebuchets are helping in a lot of ways there, and just doing everything I can to use everything about the enemy against them. But again, Nafuton's just not throwing the way I want him to. I can't get the right angle, and that's something that's really common for the Nafutons to bug out like that. Alright, going to send a cavalry around, try to hit them from the side. Desert Archer is going to turn around, start shooting the other way. Taking the general back, I'm going to start cycle charging that Mongol infantry unit. And that Saracen militia is not doing anything over there. Time to get him back to the center, because they didn't send any cavalry that way. Cavalry disengaging on the far right hole, going after my general's bodyguard there. And got one unit forming shooting circle, shooting at me. There's nothing I can do about that. And some Squids is online, playing Medieval 2 Total War. And I believe that's like the 3rd or 4th time that's popped up. So apparently he's playing a lot today. Mongol infantry continuing to move towards the town center. Starting to break a couple of units there. But as you can see, my general's bodyguard are getting very depleted. Got a total of 10 and 11, 21, 30, 42 general's bodyguard left at this point. Double check that's right here. Now we're down 18, 18, 11, be 29, 33 left. Okay, that's totally wrong. I am trying to do commentary on this as well. 12 and 11 being 23 plus 18. That'd be 32, 41. 41 general's bodyguard left. Oh, man, that's going to get me in trouble not being able to do the math there. But you can imagine how many things are going through my head trying to keep commentary on the entire battle. And we're going to get down to a lot fewer than 41 before this battle is over, maybe even down to 0. Those Mongol infantry running back this way now. I'm going to take the opportunity to shoot them. And got my main general's bodyguard going after them there because I don't want to get hit on the side. You can see I've got one general's bodyguard all the way down to 7. Seven, 9, 8, 12. My units are really starting to get depleted. And there was a big mistake on my part. I let the Nafutans get caught by the Mongol infantry on the way down from the wall, and they are going to get cut down almost to the man. Pausing again here, just seeing my numbers dwindling, trying to figure out any ways. You can see the balance of power is still heavily in the Mongols' favor. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to pull this out or not. Such a close battle, such a difficult battle to win. I can definitely understand why it would be called an impossible battle. Going to send that general after the horse archers. Probably not the best use of my men at that point, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting positive engagements. It is a good engagement, even if it's not the best place to put him. But you can see they're going to run away and just start shooting him. And I really can't afford to lose General's bodyguard at this point. Lowest General's bodyguard all the way down to 4 men. Putting us down all the way to 29 bodyguards at this point. Oh, just dropped even more. We got 2 groups of 6 is 12, plus the 4, bringing us up to 16. 27 General's bodyguard left, number dwindling every moment. Yep, see, he just went down to 5. Almost doesn't do any good to keep a live math count because by the time I get to the end of the number, the number's already gotten lower. Trying to run my general back. Like I said, it was probably a mistake to send him after there because a couple of his men got shot. And as we get into the later phases of this battle, each of those men is going to have been worth just a gold mine for each of those cavalry units. But we are starting to clean up that second army. But you can see just the balance of power is just telling me that I have no chance here. It's asking me what I'm doing with my life. Why I think I have a chance against these filthy Mongol pagans. And it's got a point. I believe I lost the general in that unit, even though I didn't get the message. Sometimes the game glitches out with that. Doesn't always give you the message, especially when you have a lot of generals there. So I'm down, I believe, 1 general, but I still have the 3 bodyguards left. And I'm going to use them to maximum effectiveness. Got the archers still shooting. And we're trying to break this unit of Mongol horse archers. Breaking that unit there. Still a big unit of foot archers out there, and there's still 2 big units of Mongol infantry. You can see just how outnumbered I am. Look at how many men I've killed at this point, how long this battle has gone, and there's still just a horde of Mongols left to be killed. Down to 19 General's bodyguard at this point in total through all 4 units. Trying to charge in there. Don't really get a good charge. But the Mongol foot archers, there we go, down to 2. I was going to say they're pretty bad in melee, but then they just wrecked one of my guys. So, guess my bodyguards are not that great in melee either. There you can see another humongous pile of dead Mongols at the gate there. And outside of the gate, just getting shot by the towers. That's why I put my men on the walls, keep all the towers garrisoned. That's why I didn't want to secede the streets to the Mongols. Because once I do that, I lose the towers. And you can see how many men those towers were able to kill because of the light armor of the Mongols. I think that's another thing that happened in Legend of Total War's video that could have gotten him a lot closer to winning that battle. And again, Legend of Total War is a great player. Nothing bad against him. Even for the best Total War player in the universe, which I don't know who that is, but I would imagine even for the best player in the universe, this would be a very difficult battle. Just trying to cycle charge these Mongol infantry, but another glitch in the game where the infantry is too close to the wall. It prevents the cavalry from getting a good charge, and now I'm all the way down to 1 man in that unit. And it is not an actual general. That's just a general's bodyguard. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with him. The Mongol infantry actually doing a surprising job firing over the walls and flaming my desert archers. So apparently the Mongols are pretty good shots with their recurve bows. I got one Nafutanier left, and I'm trying to get him off to that ledge just so he can start dropping pots down, but he is refusing to comply with orders at a time when that is most inopportune. So at this point, got a couple of Mongolians heading into the town center, and this is really bad because they are going to shoot a couple of my men there, and at this point I really don't have the numbers to be taking archer fire. So I'm going to move my men behind the buildings just to try to stay out of archer fire, and I'm going to try to get those guys to regroup with the other units so I can effectively cycle charge them. So this is the final stage of my plan. Now that I have the Mongols in the streets with just infantry left, now I can effectively cycle charge. You can see there's still quite a few Mongols left though, so balance of power still not looking good. And you're going to see me just begin to cycle charge them at this point. And we'll see who runs out first. If I run out of cavalry before they run out of men to take my cycle charges. But they are targeting my general with those fire arrows. So they're firing over the buildings, getting poor arc of fire, and they're really not going to do a whole lot of damage with that. So I'm moving my desert archers over to the gatehouse there to be able to shoot at the back of those Mongolians from the elevated position. And I'm running my Nafutan guy down, and I'm going to try to use my one Nafutan guy to shoot them in the back with his pots of death. At this point, getting kind of frustrated because my cavalry are just not getting good charges. In Medieval 2, there's a big difference between when cavalry just run into a unit and when they actually get a charge animation into the unit. It's a devastating difference, and I have to make sure I actually get the charge animation because that applies the charge bonus, and for cavalry, they have a very, very powerful charge bonus. And so if I'm going to have any hope of turning that balance of power around, I'm going to have to get every advantage I can have. So here's the last Nafutan guy, the hero of our people. And he is going to fire his pots into their back. And we do get that charge animation there. You can see I got that general. He's still alive. And we are just going to reload and recharge. And you can see my Nafutan actually routes that unit of Mongol foot archers. And I'm going to send that one-man unit after that one-man unit of General's bodyguard after those foot archers just to make sure they don't come back. So now there's 3 units left for the enemy sides. There's the 2 units of basically full-strength Mongol infantry. You can see my Nafutan guy just burning 2 or 3 of them with every pot that he throws. There's the 2 Mongol infantry, and then there's still that catapult outside on the other wall. Don't want to forget about them. There's still that catapult from the first army outside of the wall that I have to go back and kill. So even if I manage to kill those 2 Mongol units, there's still a full unit of catapult outside of the wall that I have to go kill. Continuing the reload and cycle charge phase here. And there we go. We get that last moment charge bonus. There you can see the difference with the animation of when you just run into a unit versus when they actually get the charge bonus animation. And I'm trying to use just that one 3-man unit because I don't want to kill any more of my actual generals. Just in case I do end up winning, I still have to have a family tree left at the end of this. So I'm trying to keep my actual faction leader as safe as possible. And here we go, another charge coming through. Desert Archers just taking their shots, but there's only 11 of them, so they can only do so much. Not getting a good charge there. Going to run them out. And I'm going to bring that one cavalry unit back, the single-man unit around, and I'm going to try to double cycle charge him now. Hit him from both sides. You can see dodging some fire arrows there. Pro-level micro going on. And now you can see why I didn't want to go after that catapult then, because my units are very tired right now, and that's significantly affecting... Ooh, we just routed the one of the units of those Mongolian infantry. I'm trying to rout the second one, but they don't rout. You can see the balance of power just took a huge jump towards my side. But I didn't want to go after that catapult because my men are already very tired. And if they get too exhausted, they're going to suffer an even worse stat penalty. And I really can't afford that. So we're down to one unit of Mongol infantry. And oh no, I lose that general. They both get shot to death. Again, I don't get the notification on the left side there. So we are down 2 generals. So at this point, all I have left are my faction leader, my faction heir, and I have 9 units of. I have 9 generals bodyguard men, which is not a whole lot considering I have still 60 units left I have to kill, if you include the 40 men of that Mongol infantry unit and the cavalry and the catapult on the other side of the map. But we were able to drop them down to 28, so we took a good chunk out of them there. I think we're going to do a couple more cycle charges, and then I'm going to charge everything in. I've got my Nafutanier. And I say Nafutanier, I assume that is the singular of the Nafutuns. That's at least my best guess at it. So I had him fighting in there, and I'm using him to anchor the Mongol infantry while my other cavalry cycle charge. So I'm trying everything I can do to break this balance of power now at the middle. Lost the Nafutan guy. Will it be enough? Down to 13, 12 Mongol infantry. I don't know, we might be having a chance. Balance of power starting to shift slightly into my favor. Gonna go one more time. Send both units in there. Try to break them. Down to 10 men. There's the charge bonus. That drops him down to 7. Got the other guy in there. And we're going to bring in the 3rd general's bodyguard unit. And now we're left with just the catapult. So the first army is completely routed. They're routing off the field. We've defeated that primary army. All we have left is the catapult from the initial army that we fought. As you can see, my faction heir there is alive. And I do believe, yep, and our faction leader is still alive as well. So we are going to rush out of the city here with that cavalry, and we are going to end this battle. It is going to end one way or another, and we are going to attack this catapult, and we're going to see exactly how this battle ends. And there we go, the catapult routes, and we have won the battle. The impossible battle has been won. That's right, my name will live in marble, and my foes in sand. And just to confirm that this was the exact save file, I'm going to show you guys. We load back up, and here we are back into that campaign, turn 138, and we ended the turn, and here we are, turn 139, and Egypt is still going strong. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Here at the Tower Project, we want to earn your view and earn your subscription with high-quality content like this. So please do like and subscribe and check back, because there will be a lot more of this incredible historical warfare content on its way very soon. But until next time, I'll see you guys on the Tower Project.